going on, YouTube? This is Rated H. I'm Hub. Hey, we watched a movie on Paramount Plus. It's called The Deep House. Watch it. Scuba diving, haunted house, anything you can want. You guys gotta watch it. It's on Paramount Plus. Hit that like, share, leave a comment. We'll be live on Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Oh, that fucking that went right into it. Oh, all right. What's up, Twitch? I'm Hub.
I'm Hunter.
We're Rated H, boy. We did a review on the
The
old
Deep
Deep
House.
House, yes, which it is on Paramount
What was that?
Plus.
Yep.
Um,
Low budget film. Low budget film.
yes, it was, but it wasn't terrible.
Better than The Privilege.
Oh yeah, I don't. I think anything is gonna be better than The Privilege. I really do. I don't think anything's gonna fucking not beat that
Worst
movie.
movie that we did to date was The Privilege by far. So it's
Yes,
gonna be hard to beat that.
yes. So it's about two couples who are making videos for YouTube. So it starts out there like they're in a house and I don't know. I didn't understand. Honestly, they could have skipped 15 minutes of the movie and went right to her in the bathtub to get you what they're going to. I mean, honestly, because then you figure out that they're going into they're supposed to be going to a lake where these old houses and stuff got covered up by a
It's
what was it?
flooded.
Yeah, like a flood or something
Yeah.
like that. Which I
I don't. Yeah.
I don't understand where the house got flooded though. They never explain that though, because the house is in a whole
Exactly.
different lake. But so they get to this place and there's like a shit ton of people that are going down there in the ruins to look at it. And they're like, "Oh, we're not doing this. We thought we were just gonna be by ourselves."
Yeah.
So
It's
they don't
supposed to
do
be
it.
a secret place. Well, the secret's out. Everybody knows about the secret spot.
Exactly. So they meet. What's his name? What the hell? Perez or
Pierre.
Pierre? Yeah, Pierre.
Pierre.
He meets
A
Pierre,
Frenchman.
and Pierre's like, "Hey, I know where this house is on a lake. It's fucking
For a
way down.
small fee,
Yeah,
I
it's
could show you I could show you my secret spot.
yeah, exactly. And it's way down into in the bottom. He's like, you go down the stairs, and there's this perfectly preserved house.
All
And
of the
you guys,
stairs.
yes, you guys can look into that one, and I'll stay up top. I'll take you where it's at. We'll go from there. So
And
it
I don't know
was,
about you, man. As soon as I see a fucking stranger, I'm like, come on, yeah, show me
yeah,
your secret spot.
yeah,
I'm all in. I'm American.
yes,
I'll follow you anywhere.
exactly. Especially because you're not in America, you're in France, and anything can happen there because you're not a citizen.
Literally.
So who knows what's gonna happen? I
Don't
do have
even
to admit
know,
though,
don't even know where you're going.
no,
Don't know any of the locations. Hell, he can't even read them. You don't know what's
no,
going on. He knew a little bit just because I guess, what was her name? Tina grew up in France. Her
yeah.
mom
So she
was
knew what he
French or
was talking
whatever.
about.
So they knew a little. She knew she was fluent.
Yeah.
Not him, so not. He knew a little.
But the thing is too is like Tina was already leery about this dude. So here's like the house and the gate and stuff like that's there going into. Um
Beautiful, beautiful fucking. I don't even know what you call it. Graphics.
yeah, like the
The
underground
whole. I
was
mean, that was
very
sick.
good. It was, and it was like and they had a rover that went with them. So it was like
Different camera angles. I love how they
yes.
played on it. It wasn't all shaky like
No.
some of those YouTube video. Like I knew what they were trying to do there. Like like
Exactly.
first camera view.
And it showed both of them. It's not like it never like showed just one of them filming and like because
Yeah.
they had the rover and it was taking videos of them too. So it was like it showed both of them
The
swimming.
I I love the idea of this movie.
Yes, I do.
I
I
love it. First haunted house completely underwater.
yes,
It
it
was
was.
sick. It was eerie. The just everything about it because everything it wasn't even like crazy jump scares like the music jumping out and stuff. I mean, it was genuinely eerie. It was an eerie movie to sit there and watch. It made me uncomfortable. What about you,
Yeah,
Hub?
it did. It did. Like I told you, it was like it made you have a feeling of like, man, like I don't understand what's happening, but like I get like a
Yeah,
kind of a
where's
like
this going?
it's yeah, where's it going and everything, and like the jump scare with the catfish when they opened
Oh,
up
that was
the
good. When
window.
they first got in there, I was like,
Yeah,
"Ooh, what
yeah,
is that?"
exactly. It was like they made the jump scares like into the ocean, made it good that way though. It
Yep,
wasn't terrible. But hey,
yep.
I have to admit, their sleeping arrangement fucking van was pretty gnarly.
That
The top came up and then went down and then they left. It was like
was pretty nice. Yeah.
my thing
Right
too is
after.
though is like whenever Pierre was like, "Hey, I'm going to show you this house, but I'm not going down there. Like I'm not.
Yep.
Like I'll show you where it's at, but which and then he was talking stuff in the van, and Tina was trying to like she knew what he was talking about, and like she felt kind of weird already.
Staring
I
at her
thought.
the whole time. I was like, okay, this character is gonna, turn into something,
Yeah,
but it did, but it didn't. You know what I mean? It
exactly,
did, but it didn't.
exactly.
And how many characters in this whole movie? I mean, how many? Eugene, pull that up. How
Yeah,
many characters?
you get three. You literally
Three.
get you literally get three of them. That's it. You get Tina, Ben, and Pierre. But there's the little girl, and there's other people in it, but you
The
don't.
story unfolds. I mean, it kept me on my seat for the most part. I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't like, oh my god, scared, but I was interested. I was like, I like where this is going. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Little demonic house
Yes.
in the bottom of a lake.
Yeah. But the one thing I didn't understand though, like I get where he was like, all right, well everything's gonna be perfectly preserved because it's not the ocean, but that's still
Yep,
not the
no salt.
case. Yeah,
Yeah,
because stuff still would be like I don't know, seaweedy. You know what I mean? It kind of would be
exactly.
mossy. There would be other, but it was like perfectly preserved in some spots. But then when they went to what was it, like the kitchen or something like that, that's when all the like the lake effects came into it. You could
Yeah,
see like there's moss on the table, like the chairs were floating up and stuff.
some algae.
Yeah,
Yep,
which
it
made
was
it made
it
it
was
good.
great, man. I mean, I just like how they rolled into it from
Yes.
the only way into the house was from the top of the house. Like, okay, everything's locked up, can't get in
Yep.
there, it's
Which
overgrown,
they didn't
whatever
understand
it may
why.
be.
Yeah, and they didn't
So
understand why.
coming from the top, they go down, they check out a couple, rooms, a
Yep.
little eerie factor. Like this is to me as a person who loves, aquatics, love the ocean, scuba diving, whatever it may be. It was great. I loved it. I was
Yep.
like, how awesome is this to go in a abandoned house underneath the water? I was like,
And
I
go
can
to each
relate.
room.
Let's go. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go down there. Let's explore, especially for
Yep.
YouTube
Yeah.
content. I mean, it right
Exactly.
up my alley.
Yeah.
I get it 100%. They get into the kitchen, and that's when you see the fucking 5 foot Jesus Christ hanging
Yes.
on the
Oh, the
cross, and
yeah.
you're like,
That dude, it was good. Like that was like wow, dude. Another
now
thing
we're
that got
getting
me was
into
like
it.
when they went into the kids' room and they seen the pictures and
Mm.
like they seen all kinds of like different like other little kids and like
I loved seeing the portrait of them
the
all, and they all had the
the
guns.
guns.
I'm like,
Yes.
I get that from the old.
Yep.
What do you say? Well, the 15th century, 16th century. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's just
Exactly.
throw a number out there from old timey.
Yep.
I get it. Everybody hunt it. You hunt it for your food. I get it. So like seeing all the deer antlers and the elk and everything hanging up there to me
Yep.
wasn't weird at all. You should see my house. I mean, we got dead animals all over the place here. So I was like, okay, I like this. You go into the room, the first sign that I was just like, oh, this is gonna be like demonic and stuff was the little doll with the witchcraft shit going on.
Yes.
Anybody that knows anything about anything,
Yep.
you're like, okay, this is some witchcrafty shit. Like, I
Yeah.
get it. As an explorer, you're like, but it's underwater. There's nobody alive. It's just eerie, like, because you never know what was happening back in
No.
the day. You know
No.
what I mean? You're like,
No.
oh, so it was believable. I was like, oh, then they got pictures like, oh, why would you have pictures of missing children
Exactly.
hanging on your wall? Well, you're involved. You're always
Yeah.
involved.
Yep. And then
Always.
I liked how they had the door pinned up with the shotgun, and they pulled it off, and they opened the door, and there's a board with claw marks in it. I
Yeah, that
get
was
you're in the
good.
lake. That board should have been kind of decrepit. You know what I mean? I get it. Which they still couldn't open the front door, which made sense because of the shotgun on it. And she's like, "Oh, what the hell? It looks like somebody was trying to keep them in this house." That's when you're like, "Okay, something definitely happened in this house that somebody
Yep.
else put them in."
Yes. And you still think it's old timey, like, oh, this
Yeah.
happened forever ago. And could you imagine stumbling upon that? You're like, oh, this
Yeah.
is eerie. Like, we were on to something. This is going
Yeah.
to get us some views. I'd be a little bit worried. Me
Yeah.
personally, just like Zombieland, you know your exit. That
Yep.
window, I would have kept it kept it pried open or whatever.
Yeah.
That part didn't make sense. We'll get into that, but
Yes.
let's. You go into the room. You see
The kitchen.
the
Yep.
portraits of everything. They're literally pictures of kids stabbed through the antlers
Yes.
of these skulls.
Yes.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay. And I just like the way it evolved because it
I
kept you
did.
guessing. It
It did.
definitely was satanic, which is
And
like
then
down the alley for me too. I really enjoy movies like that.
yeah, and then Ben was trying to get the cross out of the kitchen. He was trying to get it off. He's like, "I can't get it, so I need help." Which you would in the water because you have no footing, and that thing had
That's
to be
what
heavy.
and that's what made sense on why you couldn't break the windows, you couldn't
Yes.
pry open doors because I get it.
Yeah.
It made sense. It
Yep.
did.
He
It
had
really
a.
did. And then if
Yeah.
it was iron, rusted, whatever, it's been sitting at the
Yeah.
bottom of the lake for how many
Exactly. It
centuries.
could have been locked. Yeah. You don't know. You ain't gonna get that lock undone. So they pull
You've
that
never
off.
been in this house.
No. They pull that off, and then you go down into
It's
the
blocking
actual.
a door.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cellar, if you
Cell,
would.
yeah, and you go down in the cellar, and then you got two people chained up with masks and stuff on, and that's when everything starts to hit the fan. Like they start
Yeah.
seeing stuff. They start seeing a little girl.
And when I first saw that, dude, I was like, that's badass.
No,
That
yeah,
was sick.
it
They
was,
did this movie very well,
and they
like
weren't
the story behind it,
they
like
weren't
the
just
props,
sitting
whatever
there.
it was.
Exactly, and they
Yeah,
weren't just sitting there. They were actually
they're all
floating
floating in the
with the
water,
chains. Yes,
all chained up, meat hooks,
yes,
it was definitely very good on that.
and
Like
that's when Tina was
visually, I
like,
was like, I like that.
"We need to get out of here." And
Yep.
Ben's like, "Nah, we got. I'm gonna look around a little bit. Let me get some more
Got a
pictures." We're
pentagram on the
yeah,
floor,
underneath it.
they're dead. Yeah, I mean, my old lady be freaking out like, I'm out of here. Me be the man, I'm like, dude, hey, like,
That
we're the first ones down here.
Yep,
Nobody's seen this. We're on to
exactly.
something. Like,
Yeah,
holy shit.
this is for our big numbers because that's all Ben wanted. He wanted big
He just
numbers on
wanted
YouTube.
views.
Yes, he wanted big views so that he could just continue doing this. That's all he thought about.
Yep,
Well, then
and it
what
put
they
everybody at
start
risk.
they
Get in
start
the
seeing
van with the
stuff.
weird guy.
Yeah, they start seeing stuff, and that's when Ben and them are like, all right, that rover, the battery goes off, and he has to restart
Mhm.
it. The music starts
Brand new
playing by
batteries.
itself.
Yep.
They're hearing
And
stuff, so they're like, we gotta get out of here. And he definitely changed the battery before they went down there. They're always checking their O2, which was a good thing. It's like, hey, how much
smart.
oxygen do you have left?
They knew. They were experienced.
Yes.
He was at
Yeah,
least.
exactly. And she only could hold what 3 minutes. She was in the bathtub. He's like, oh, that's all
3 minutes.
right. Which I mean, I get it. You're not gonna you're probably gonna have the 3 minutes to get out of the water if you're
Absolutely.
actually diving and you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? If you're not caught up, yeah, I get it.
Depending
But
on how deep you are supposed to take your
exactly.
pauses and stuff.
Exactly. And he knew that too. He was like, all right, well, we need this much oxygen because then we have to take our pauses on the way back up, which was phenomenal because what movie do you
But
see that they're like, hey, we got to check our
you're
oxygen? Like, it's not part of the
throughout
movie.
the
They're just
whole
like,
movie,
they're just
the
swimming
tech
everywhere.
I love that it was like all the technology, the drones, the cameras,
Yes.
just the way it was filmed was
His
actually really
music
good.
playing, then
It was
talking to each
really
other, and they all could hear the music, which was very good. Like, I did like
yep,
that part.
I
So then
enjoyed it.
so then once that Ben's like, all right, we definitely got to get out of here. Something's wrong. Well,
Yep.
then the girl starts opening her eyes, and they thought they're getting chased. So they're what? They're
That was
trying to,
that, that was before all that.
yeah,
So they started, got freaked out. They got some people
yep,
in the cellar. This is now an active crime scene. You know what I mean?
exactly,
She's freaking the fuck out. She's
yep.
like, all right, so where do they go? Let's get out of the house. Let's go to the window
Let's go to the
where we
attic.
came in.
Yep.
Brick wall.
That's what I thought. I was
Brick
like,
wall
where
out
the
of
fuck does
nowhere.
brick wall come
Brick
from?
wall.
It was the weirdest thing. I'm like, a brick wall? What's a brick wall doing there? But I get it. They thought there was a brick wall, I think, because the house was
Ah,
making them think that.
I don't know.
I said, I don't
It
know
looked
either.
pretty real to me
It
because
did.
they couldn't get out. They couldn't get
Exactly.
out.
I thought that too, but I'm like, maybe the house shifted or maybe something fell.
I thought it was a different window. Like, oh, you're so scared. You're like, this is the way out, but it isn't. There's
Yes,
another
I
window,
thought
but
that
that
too.
was the window. So what do?
They go back down. They try to look for another
Go to
exit.
the cellar. Hey, let's follow the fish that escaped the house.
Yeah,
Well, guess
to
what?
the chimney.
That house is his home. He ain't leaving. He's
Nope.
coming back
So they
in.
try the chimney. And when they're going up, he's like, all right, we got to take our gear off because we're not going to fit up. Which they would have fit up with their gear. When they were
I
showing the video
agree.
of it,
I agree.
there was a
That
ton
drone
of
can fit
space.
up there. There's
Exactly.
plenty of
There
yeah,
was a shit ton
exactly.
of space. They could definitely get out with that drone and their
Yep.
gear on. So then they're trying to get out, and the chimney collapses above them,
Yes.
and they
Something
fall
happens.
down. Yeah, something
Some
happens.
rubble.
Ben gets shot into the little girl's room. She gets shot into she's in the living room, I guess you could say.
I think she's still back down into the kitchen.
Maybe the
It
kitchen,
was the
yeah,
kitchen.
somewhere, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
kitchen.
And
I,
so she's like, all right, so I got my she don't have her mask on anymore because it fell off.
yep. And his respirator fell off too.
Yeah,
So
and
he
his was
was
cracked too.
knocked out, we'll say, because of I get it, the commotion. So
Yeah,
she's calling for him. Hey, Ben, where are you?
yeah. They
Why aren't
thought
you
they could hear
answering
each
to
other,
me?
which they couldn't hear each other because I mean maybe Ben could, but he was seeing things. So he seen the girl, I guess, come into the
Ben
room, and
Ben
he
got a bad rep anyway
oh
because
yeah,
he's always pranking her, never listening. You
yes,
know what I mean? So it
yeah,
gives you a bad rep
yeah.
already. So
So the
that's
girl,
not one person I want to be
no, I
exploring
would
with,
no, I wouldn't have been with him either. So
let
he's like,
alone trusting.
he's hiding underneath the bed, which was cool. He was floating underneath the bed, swimming. You know what I mean? Like just
Yep.
sitting there. The lady's walking in front of him.
Which was eerie. Good
Yes.
acting.
Yeah, and it was like
Good
you could
acting.
see the feet look like they had been down in the water for a while and stuff. So it was
Yep.
good.
It was.
And then she,
It was another girl. The girl, the
yeah,
daughter.
yeah, the
I would
daughter.
assume
Yep, yep.
that's what grabbed them. Then
Yeah.
you don't know what happens to
No,
them.
you don't know what happens after that. So then it
Kicks
shifts
back
back.
over to her.
Yeah, and she's walking around and she's like, all right, she's swimming. She's like, I gotta figure my way out. I gotta find Ben.
Yep.
And then so what
Runs
she?
into the guy that
Yes.
was chained up down there. So the girl that was chained up is after Ben. The guy chained up is after her.
Yeah, so she tries to get out, and she thinks she has a way out in the cellar because she goes back down to the cellar. She thought she had a
Yep.
way out up top. She's
Well, it
swimming.
was barred. Seen some windows,
Yes.
bars can't fit out. Oh, there's a well. You could have looked up. You could have clearly seen there was,
Yep. And Ben
know.
was with her at that. Like Ben shows up right after that point. He finds her, which was odd, very odd.
Well, it was only after
Yes.
she goes up. Why
Yep.
are you getting next to the dead bodies and stuff? I don't know. It gets all
She
wrapped
didn't know,
up in the chains,
but
and
she
then the
thought she was
meat
getting
hook
chased by him.
grabs her.
Yeah, she thought
Yep.
he meat cleavered her.
Having these visions.
Yes. So then finally Ben wakes her up and says, "Hey, Tina, like this is your
I was right
dream."
behind you. Yeah,
Yeah.
the people are still here, chained. They never left.
Yeah. So
It
they're
was definitely a mind fuck.
it was.
It
It
was
was.
good.
At that
It
point
was
it
good. You didn't
was.
know what was real, what wasn't.
Yes, exactly. And then what she thinks she has like a snake in her body in her
Mm.
suit. So she's like finally she it gets up to her face and you can see there's a snake there. And she pulled it and Ben that's when Ben
But
what
he
he
knew
possessed
exactly what it was. He was like, "Hey,
just
it's
let
a
it happen.
snake.
Yeah.
Open your mouth.
Yep.
Let my snake in your mouth."
Yep. Let it happen. Let him go right in and eat you. Let it happen. Well, she was like, nah, it ain't happening.
Uh-uh.
She rips her mask off. The snake comes flying out.
He
And
was
then,
definitely acting weird. I wouldn't have trust
yes.
that or
No,
anything.
no.
That was strange.
He was like, let it happen, this and that. Like, and she knew something was wrong. She knew he was possessed or something. Like, there was something wrong. And what,
And
she
he
like,
knew when I guess he was possessed, that's whenever he got this knowledge because he knew he's
yes.
like, oh, I got the way out. It's right here. And it
Yep.
was hidden behind, some
Yep.
pantries. You're already in the cellar, so you think, but it goes deeper in,
Yep. And
which
there's
was pretty
a,
cool
a
too because
theater
I was
room.
like,
A theater
yep.
room. And they start
That was their
showing.
private screening of what
Yes.
they used to do, and then that's whenever he starts giving you all the knowledge,
Yep.
what these people are
Yep.
about, what the house is
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
the background stories,
Yep.
who Pierre
Yep.
is.
The father and the son would steal kids from the neighboring places and bring them
These are the
in.
missing children,
Yes.
and sacrifice them
And sacrifice them to whoever the god or whatever person, demon, whatever they were praying to,
into.
is
Yep.
sacrificing to. And that's where Ben wanted Tina to sacrifice herself so they could feel what was it, privileged to
Yeah.
die to
The
somebody.
plague.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so she was like, nah, it ain't happening. Like, and then they figure out who Pierre is. Pierre is actually the kid,
The son.
the
Yep. One
son.
of the son.
The
Yep.
people came from the other villages with shotguns, stuff over their faces and stuff, and they grabbed their daughter and killed her first in the other room and showed them like, hey, like we know what you guys been doing. Somehow
Yep. A little bit
Pierre
of
gets away.
revenge. Yeah, he gets away.
Somehow he runs
Everybody
away.
else dies. They
Yeah.
chain him up in the house. They
Yep.
put the,
Boards up.
torture thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do
exactly.
everything. And then so they figure out who Pierre is, and then that's when she kind of wakes Ben up by
By
taking his
stabbing him
yes,
in the arm with a
yes,
knife.
because
That always would wake me up.
she was about to get stabbed by him. Because
Snap
that's
out of it.
yep. So he
Yep.
snaps out of it, but then the little girl comes out of nowhere behind him and just stabs him a couple times. So he's dead. She
That's
notices
it.
she's only got what it was like 5% left of oxygen, maybe
Okay. I'll
3.
say that. Yeah.
And then she
Running
finds
low.
yeah she goes through the theater, the The projector, the screen.
Yep.
She goes through
And
its entire
apparently
room.
behind that is another room with a
Yes.
pentagram. They did some shit in there too.
Yep.
And you see all the bones and everything. And I guess there's an opening there too. I guess maybe they were
Open out the
burning things
window.
there. You never
Yeah.
know. It was,
She
yeah.
finally popped the
And
window open.
yep.
She's trying to swim out. She's running out of
Had to
air.
take the mask off, take everything off. She got 3 minutes. It's a long way down.
Yep. And she gets probably what, maybe 6 feet from the top.
Yeah,
And
I'd say 12.
yeah, and she suffocates on water. She dies.
That's
She's
it.
drowned. She floats up to the top. That's where the movie ends.
Never
Why did
see
you
Pierre
end
again.
there?
Never nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
Pierre's not up top. Nothing.
nothing. Just that's it.
Yeah, that was it. That
No
was all.
no closure. No idea what's going on with these people and how they're still alive. No background, other than like there's a backstory to how they got there, but not how they're still alive and what the whole thing is. And that's when it kind of
Yeah, it kind of like
yeah
dies out right there.
it
So
yeah.
like the whole movie in all, the graphics, the way it was done, like it
I
was
do
like a
like
one of a
this is
kind of thing.
me personally. This is the first time I've ever seen a haunted house or anything underwater.
Yeah, and it was
Great
awesome.
idea.
It was. And it was like,
Executed. Just kind of had to put a bow on that real quick. Like, hey, this is it. Let's end it. The end.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. It was just like cut, that was it. So it
what
was
do
like
you what do you rate it, Hub?
I give it close to, I go 5.9. I maybe
Okay.
6, maybe 6.2, somewhere around that range. I wouldn't go too
Give me
high.
a number. Give me a number.
I'll go 6.1. 6.1. I'll give it above that
6.1.
6. I'll give it above that
Hub's
6.
Hub's always so generous. I'm going 5.4. 5.4. That's what I'm going.
Yeah, cuz it was like I wouldn't watch it again cuz I know what's happening now, so it's like,
Exactly. The only time I would watch it again was the first 15 minutes, which Hub said, you can skip it. You don't want to skip the first 15 minutes because that's when you see boobage. That's the best part. A little
got a
bit of
point.
nip slip.
And like it was just, I don't know, like them going to that house in the beginning. It just, I understand like they were trying to show Ben, scare her and stuff, but it was just like it was not needed. Like you could have skipped that and said, hey, like we're here, like she's in the bathtub trying to hold her breath, and they could have been like,
Showing
all
her,
right, so
yeah.
yeah, we're here just to like,
That's where it could have started.
yeah, they could have went into like Ben saying, okay, like we're here on a YouTube trip, like at any point they could have said that, and then you would have known why
Yeah,
they were there and what they were doing, because he even says, he's like, all right, we're gonna go down where like where these ruins are, we're gonna video it for my views and stuff, 'cause he's trying to start a YouTube channel up, so they could have
yeah,
started it later. But I get it. You want to
absolutely.
make the movie just a little bit longer. You want to show more, a little bit more stuff. So I do get
Give a
that
little
point.
background story to show that Ben's an ass and always trying to scare his old lady.
Exactly. So
Can't
I mean,
trust
I
them.
get it. I get it. But it was in all, they could have
They
saved it.
both died.
Yeah,
They
that's another
both
thing
died.
too. They both
So what
died.
happens with the rover? What happens with the footage? What
Yeah,
happens?
you don't know nothing.
You know,
And then again, who knows? They might make another one like Pierre takes her out of the water. Like I don't know. You don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen now because yeah, she definitely could have suffocated and died because she
what
floated up.
what was the point though? I still don't understand. So like Pierre knew that
He was trying to get to sacrifice.
parents are still down there.
I
I
think
just
so.
don't.
I think
The
so.
house will take care of them. The
Yep.
house will take care of them. It should have showed, Pierre still, practicing. That could have been a full circle, bring it around, and got a little bit better closure. She
Yeah.
instead of that first 15 minutes of crap, you could have did the last 15 minutes. Pierre, like you said, saving her or whatever, taking her, and
Yeah.
who knows how they
It,
could have played it from
it
there,
it could
but
be
never
played off of
happened.
anything. Yeah, it could be played off of anything,
Never
honestly.
happened.
But I don't think it's going to. I think it is going to end because the guys
Yeah.
that did do the movie, made the movie, they did do what was it? Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think he was the
Yeah,
producer for
same
that.
director.
Yeah, same
Which
director. Yep.
what was it? The what version of that Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Because you could if
It
it was
was.
the older style, you could kind of see. Because I mean, the set was really good. The set was really good.
It
What
was.
one was
It
that?
was.
What year was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Did it say?
Yeah. Let me get the actual director up here.
Eugene, pull that up.
Produced by who? Who we say the was it him? Peter Gerber? No.
Produced by them.
Yeah, we look for the director. I think it was this guy, the screenwriter.
Either way, the props, the way they set it up, the way they set the house up. I mean, it was really good. It
It
was really
was.
good.
It
It was
was.
scary. It was like, gave you that vibe, and then just the whole underwater spin on it was actually really good.
Leatherface. That's the one he
I
did.
like the story.
2017.
Leatherface 17, which wasn't a bad one.
No,
Which
it
wasn't a bad
wasn't.
one. I like Leatherface.
So he
Definitely
was a
not
director,
gory.
writer, I guess.
Definitely not like super scary,
No, no, it
but
wasn't.
for it was ominous and a couple jump scares, but overall the idea of witchcraft and demonic things is scary in itself. So I kind of see how they played off on it, and I think it played well. Like, for two people that know nothing about anything, we're just gonna go check out a haunted house. Well, they got they
Yeah,
got more than they
exactly.
bargained for. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
wish it would have
exactly.
ended differently, but
Yeah, I wish it would have
that
kind of ended with her getting out and seeing Pierre and be like, "What the fuck?"
what the fuck? Yeah,
Yeah. Like,
exactly.
what the hell, dude? You sent me down here. Like, now Ben's dead.
And even if she did get out, Ben had the keys. So
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I don't know.
He had the keys and
Eh,
everything. Like, that was it. There was no.
And yeah, what are you gonna do with the van? You got
Yeah.
to cover your tracks. There was a lot of missing pieces, but like I said, for overall movie, eh,
Yeah, it was decent.
I would not watch it again personally.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, just because I know what happens now. But like the first time watching it, it has all kinds of cool stuff for you to actually like enjoy. Like, and then
It
some
was,
couple jump scares, and you're trying to figure out what's happening through the whole thing. So it's
yeah,
like I get it.
and it,
I
it
definitely
it
get it.
was a good trying to figure out. It wasn't like a privilege. Like you're
No.
just like I still don't know what the hell's going on.
Yep. Exactly.
No
Exactly.
clue. This one, there's a couple missing pieces, but overall, it wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't bad at all. So so yeah, so I'd say yeah, he said 5.4, 6.1. So that's where we're
Yeah.
kind of at. Well, we did watch Halo too. We did watch that.
Yes. So that'll be our next
So yeah,
our next little stream that we do. We're gonna watch 2 episodes of Halo. So the first Halo came out last week. I
yep,
think it's
last
every
Thursday.
Thursday to drop. So tomorrow we'll watch the second episode. And we'll do a podcast on that Tuesday.
Yep.
The first 2 episodes just to get into there,
Yep.
and that is on what Paramount Plus.
Yep. Paramount Plus on. Yep. And it is key to that, and that's it. So if you
Yep.
need to watch Halo, that's
Exclusive.
yep, that's the only way you're gonna be able to see it.
And I'm a diehard Halo fan. What about you, Hub?
I definitely am. I was for sure. But like Halo Infinite, like I said, kind of destroyed everything.
Yeah,
But I still like Halo, so I mean, I
me too.
definitely enjoy it. So
I'm enjoying the series. This is the Halo movie. I don't know if
yes,
you guys remember that. It was like an ODST playoff on that. That was really good. I enjoyed it. This is the actual Halo movie, and this is going back like I guess since day one. You know what I mean?
yeah,
How
exactly. Yep,
how the Spartans were created, Dr. Halsey,
yep,
everything about it, and
yep. The first one is Contact, so I mean, yeah, I mean,
first episode was pretty good. I'm
yep,
not gonna lie. We'll talk about that next podcast. You're gonna have to
exactly.
tune in for that,
Yep. So like
and then we
Pablo
can
is
really get
Master Chief.
down.
So they got a good Master Chief. Like I like Pablo, I really do. He's a good dude. He
Good
played a
actor.
good. Yeah, Den of Thieves was a fantastic movie. I mean, if you've never seen Den of Thieves, you definitely gotta watch Den of Thieves. So
Yep,
yeah, so we'll watch the second Halo episode 2, which is tomorrow, and then we'll do the podcast
correct.
on Tuesday.
So guys, catch up. Watch
Yep.
your Halo 1,
Yep.
watch the Halo 2, and then we're gonna get on Discord. We're gonna be here.
Yeah.
And we'd love to hear from you guys.
Yeah. If you
Seen
guys
a
want to.
couple getting some views here. I've been seeing. I see you guys in there. I
Yep.
see
Yep.
you. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Keep
Definitely.
watching.
Exactly. We definitely appreciate it. If you guys want to jump in too, I mean,
Join
tell
in.
us. Yeah. Tell us. I'll
We got
jump
the
in here.
chat. Eugene will pull it up. He'll let
Yeah.
us know whenever something happens
Yeah,
here.
I'll put you guys right in the Discord. I mean, you guys hop in Discord and talk with us, especially if you want to talk about Halo, because I know a lot of people like Halo and they are watching the Halo series just because they want to
Yep.
see what it's about. Because we honestly never had a good Halo TV series or a movie. Like, yeah, there's some
I
other
agree.
like little movies here and there, but we never had an actual like a real good one.
Yeah. And red versus blue doesn't count. Come
No,
on.
no, not at all.
If you
So
know, you know.
exactly, exactly. So like I said, next Tuesday, 5 o'clock. You guys
Tuesday.
join in. We will be here. And thanks for stopping by. We are out of here. I'm Hub,
I'm Hunter.
and this is Radiate. Thanks, guys.